college wrestling is back on Iowa PBS.
Hello, everyone.
Join me, Tim Johnson, along with Wartburg coaching legend Jim Miller for 5 weeks of exciting college duels on your statewide network and online at iowapbs.org. Our next matchup features Dubuque's Loras College taking on Coe in Cedar Rapids. Let's go. Tuesday night at 7 on Iowa PBS.
Murph and Andy, proudly presented by Ramsey Subaru and BMW of Des Moines. Live and on demand across Iowa everywhere. From the Channel Seed Studios. This is Murph and Andy. Murph and Andy. Connected by Cellular Advantage.
All right, let's do this. It is the Murph and Andy Show on a Monday. We are brought to you proudly by Ramsey Subaru and BMW of Des Moines, connected by Cellular Advantage with 35 locations, a U.S. Cellular dealer, a proud U.S. Cellular dealer, and it is a lot of things today. First of all, it is MLK Day, it's Inauguration Day, it's College Football National Championship Day, and it's the day where Andrew and I begin the show without our friend Keith Murphy. We are not sure exactly what's going on with his connectivity today. Not sure if it has something to do with all of those other factors going on, but we delayed the show as he was trying to get his microphone hooked back up again. He couldn't hear us, and he couldn't see us, and now...
Yes.
Maybe. Yes. There he is. All right. Yes.
Yeah, that is the last Iowa Everywhere Zoom call I participate in. It's done. It's over. Thank you, Chris Williams, for taking my stress level a hassle.
Yeah, we had a little Zoom meeting this morning, and I thought for a moment, I'll use my laptop where I have my studio here in this room. And then I thought, the last time I did something like that, it took me a while to get reconnected again. This is, I'm sure, it's not some complicated problem. It's just one that we don't ever deal with. So it tripped us up today.
Had to reset the computer, but it is good to be here. Welcome to Murph and Andy on a Monday. Sorry for the delay. Let's get right into it here. It is a big day. We got MLK Day, celebrating the life of Martin Luther King. It's Inauguration Day as President Trump, 47, returns to office, and the College Football Championship tonight. That's a big Monday. Some of you are off, some of you are working. Let's get to the Guest House Tavern and Oyster in West Des Moines, setting the table for sports and more. Josh over Lamar, West Virginia over Iowa State, and UCLA over the Iowa defense. That's all coming up courtesy of Guest House Tavern, Northwest-inspired Midwestern hospitality. Right now, let's go high or low, last show.
Presented by Wealth Charter Retirement Planning and Tax.
25 years of experience, Wealth Charter, ready to help you in 2025. Retirement planning, tax prep, financial management, and more. WealthCharterRetirement.com is where you'll find those guys. Okay, I am going high. Yeah, it was a busy weekend. There was a ton of sports going on. I watched a lot of it. Also got out and about, though. One of my favorite daddy-daughter traditions that I do with my daughter, Elin. We went down to the Central Iowa Kennel Club dog show. She loves dogs. So do I. We went down there at the Varied Industries building at the Iowa State Fairgrounds, or maybe it was the 4-H building. I don't know. It was one of those two buildings, and saw some amazing purebred dogs and their owners. They're always really happy to talk with you about that, and just beautiful dogs. A lot of rare breeds. This is a Petite Basset Griffon Vendienne, a PBGV.
Really? Jeez.
Yeah, she's petting right there. The other ones, bring those other ones. That's a Tibetan Mastiff. You hardly ever see those. Great big flock guardian breed. That is a Clumber Spaniel, which they are so, look how cute that dog is.
A cute dog.
Beautiful dog. So we had a really good time, and then we went out to lunch afterwards, and she and I just had a really, really nice day together. How about you, Murph?
I'm going low here on a Monday, and it's just a callback to something we learned on Friday, and just a sad, bad day for not just local media, but local communities, learning that KWWL is laying off all of its meteorologists and hubbing the weather from a regional hub. Also, it's worth noting Allen Media is laying off all of its local meteorologists. Maybe some will have the chance to go work for the Weather Channel, which is owned by Allen Media, but most all are losing their jobs. So we start with the fact that people, in many cases with families, have lost their jobs. So very sorry about that. On another level is how horrible this is for local communities to lose even more local media, more like a tornado, which hit, you were there, Andy, hit Parkersburg. You know how much local weather is needed. And I'm sure we're going to hear that they can do just as good a job and keep people just as safe from these regional spots. I don't believe it.
No,
I don't believe it.
I agree. And, you know, look, just from a business standpoint, I mean, people talk to me about all sorts of stuff in media, on our television station. They don't bring up any subject more frequently than weather. Mm-hmm. And I'm not a weather guy, and I know you get the same thing. How many times do you hear somebody during a bad weather day say, "Could you put in a request for a complaint to Mr. Ed for me?" Or I tell Ed that I need him to come up with a good forecast for tomorrow. I'm taking the day off. We're going out to Saylorville. I mean, people
all the time.
They are
Thank Ed for this beautiful day. Well, if Ed could control the weather, he wouldn't have to work.
Jerry Ann said this. Parkin said that. I mean, we have a community, especially in the state of Iowa. I mean, weather is never far from the headlines in Iowa.
Right.
Not only does it get dangerous, I mean, we have people that work outdoors all the time, start with the agriculture industry and just go all the way across the spectrum. I mean, people are concerned about the weather, their local weather, not national weather, their local weather all the time. They want to know what's happening at what point, and they want to hear it from people that they know. And so many of these meteorologists have worked their entire careers at these stations. Allen Media is just the latest conglomerate to own most of these stations. KWWL has been owned by a whole bunch of different conglomerates in our time here. And lately, all of these conglomerates have been in this business just for mergers and acquisitions. They're not in it for broadcasting. They're certainly not in it for journalism. They're in it to own TV stations and to sell ads on the programs. And they don't see this. And I don't understand. It's just crazy. It's scary for the rest of us. We all know how important weather is. I mean, we've been told by consultants time and again, constantly, it's the most important thing there is. If they're cutting that, what does that say for everything else?
It's sad and it's bad. I don't know how to put it better than that. And there is absolutely no joy being experienced by the people at Iowa everywhere. Yes, this is a local community of media, but we don't want this. This isn't good for any community. And we're all coming, most of us anyway, are coming from the same worlds here. I mean, WI recently has laid off people, I believe is hubbing the weather on weekends now instead of having it done locally. iHeart, we know about all the layoffs. There have been levels to the layoffs. I know that at 13, our general manager and news director are trying hard to prevent layoffs, but we've experienced massive attrition where people aren't replaced after they leave. And there's just nothing about this that's good. And I've been asked a lot since commenting on this morning, well, why is this happening? Are these companies going out of business? Of course not. They're making tens of millions of dollars, but the profit margin expectations are set at such a level that they have to be reached, and the pressure is on regional managers and general managers and vice presidents and presidents to reach these profit margins. And with the slow erosion brought on by streaming habits, it gets more difficult to reach those margins and keep those big bonuses going. So how do you do it? Well, you cut back, you freeze raises, you freeze spending, you try to keep expenses low as possible. You don't have stations travel to bowl games or whatever. Everyone is trying to meet the expectations. The second part of it is stock price. Keep the stock price inflated, in some cases artificially inflated. But back to the main point, because I believe in capitalism, you have a right to do this. It's not personal. It's just bad for local communities. And KWWL...
ultimately, it's in the long run, it's bad business. In the short run, to boost the stock price, it is. It's playing the short game. And often these conglomerates just play the short game. They want to bump up the value and then sell it to somebody else.
Yeah, I've worked, I believe, at 13. Ed's been there even longer than I have. I think I've worked for 4 or 5 different owners. And it was local to begin with. It was Palmer Chiropractic way back 30 years ago. And since then, it's been one conglomerate after another. And they have a right to make money, and they're doing it. But, man, it does hurt these communities. KWWL has also just eliminated early Saturday and Sunday newscasts, the 5 and 6 p.m. newscasts. Those are gone. The weekend morning newscasts are gone. This just isn't good, and I feel sorry. I want to make a joke here that maybe Mark Woodley was too good when he did the weather, and now they just want him to do sports and weather, but it's not funny. And
no, because the news keeps coming in. I mean, the news keeps coming in.
Yep.
The weather keeps coming in. This isn't something that we've invented. That all still needs to be reported on. And there just aren't any. There are fewer and fewer places and people to do that anymore.
We're in a glass house with people who are trying really hard to keep things going, and we appreciate it. But it's a bummer. It is an absolute bummer, and I'm sorry to hear it. And I know there are some people out there that are really bummed and they don't feel like they can comment on it publicly, and I completely get it. I was in your shoes 10, 20 years ago where I was like, I really need this job, and I don't want to be the next to go because I went out there and talked about it on a podcast. But we're supposed to be transparent. We're the media. We should be reporting on things like this. We should be telling people what's going on, and I live in no fear of that whatsoever. It's the right thing to do, and the people I respect will respect me for it.
Yeah, I agree. And we know a lot of these people, and they'll find another job. They're going to be okay, but this is what they've trained to do. This is what they've dedicated themselves in their career to being good at. It's, if you meet a good meteorologist, it's crazy how much they sound like a crazy sports fan. If you ever like Ed is almost like he's different. He's like super normal. I've got a friend, Steve Brown, that I work with.
Ed is super normal?
Yeah. You're right. Well, like my friend Steve Brown, I worked with him. He was a meteorologist with me at my first station up in Rhinelander. He went on and worked in Green Bay and some other markets in Wisconsin. I would be on a road trip with him. Sometimes he'd come help cover Wisconsin Badger games or whatever. He'd want to pull over all the time and look at the clouds. He would want to call in to like the National Weather Service to check on forecasts. I mean, he's that plugged into it at all times. They're like sports fans checking scores. They're checking social media for weather stuff. We're checking social media for sports stuff. They are that plugged into that. So this wasn't just, cutting a bunch of talking heads that read weather reports from, the National Weather Service or from NOAA or something. These are people that have a genuine concern for their communities and a great deal of knowledge on how to deliver that kind of coverage to them.
Yeah, real sorry to the 21 or 22 stations, KIMT, I believe, in Mason City, Rochester is also an Allen Media station. But most of all, we know so many good people at KWWL, and they are so bummed, including the people who did not lose their jobs. I mean, nobody is happy about this. It just absolutely sucks, and I'm really sorry. And that was my low of the weekend. To lighten the mood a little bit, I was watching Overthinking on Iowa Everywhere before we came in. Did you hear this date story from my son Cade?
I haven't heard it yet. I need to listen. I was listening to Chris and Chris this morning, and
I'll just give you a quick summary here. So Cade is on a second date. This is not recently. It's last year. He has a girlfriend now, but he's on a second date, and he'd been to 80-35 the night before, and she says, "You want to hang out again?" He's like, "Sure." So they decide to go to Jordan Creek Mall. It's her choice. Cade picks her up in Ankeny, drives her to the Jordan Creek Mall. They go into Forever 21, and she's holding stuff up. "What do you think of this?" "Oh, I like that. It looks nice." This goes on for a while. She takes 4 or 5 items up to the register. She gets there, they ring up the items, and the young lady's on his second time ever seeing, turns to him and expects him to pay for them.
Really?
Yeah. He's like,
What did she? How did she say it?
She just turned and
You
looked
got
at
this,
it.
right?
Yeah. Yes. Don't remember the exact wording, but she also was like, you got this, or you pay for this? So Cade,
What was she buying exactly?
he said like 4 or 5 items, more than $100, less than $200. Forever 21. I know this store. I don't go into it. I'm familiar with it. So the expectation is he's going to buy this stuff. So Cade, being a nice young man and also being broke, kind of tells a white lie. He goes, "Oh man, I don't have my wallet with me. I left it in the car." So they
That's
walk
okay.
out.
You can Apple Pay.
Yeah, they walk out. I'm surprised you didn't say that. They walk out of Forever 21, and Cade goes, "Were you expecting me to pay for all that?" And she's like, "Well, yeah, I thought maybe." That kind of thing. He's like, "No, I
I'll
just
tell you what I
met
will
you."
pay for, and that's your Uber back to Ankeny. Have a good life.
He drove her back. They then
Oh.
walked to the car, and he had to drive her back to Ankeny after this uncomfortable thing happened, and they haven't seen each other since.
Well, good.
Jeez.
That's, sometimes a good clear red flag early on isn't such a bad thing.
That was just being waved all around. That's a big red flag. Interact on YouTube. Email Murph_Andy at iowaeverywhere.com. On X, it's Murph_Andy. All powered by the Cellular Advantage, proudly representing U.S. Cellular since 1993 with 35 regional locations, 32 when we started this show, up to 35. Who knows when it'll be 40? Probably not long. Let's get the buzz.
The Buzz. Brought to you by Logier Heating and Cooling.
All right, Logier Heating and Cooling, dedicated to providing heating and cooling solutions to Des Moines area families. Buzz or lack of buzz? The national championship game is tonight. Notre Dame against Ohio State. 2 Midwestern teams. No SEC teams for the second straight year.
Well, I don't know. I mean, is it because we aren't that interested in this game, or is it because there's just so much other stuff that was blocking our view of it? I mean, it's hard to imagine more going on. Right, there is a lot going on in the world, in America, and in sports.
Look at today. I mean, it's Inauguration Day. It's MLK Day.
You got a ceasefire in the Middle East. You've got, a million different executive orders coming down. You've got, and then you had the NFL playoffs all weekend, had all our basketball teams going. I mean, there was a lot going on. It was cold as hell.
NFL Bigfoot's everything. I think that's a big part of this, just the NFL. But first of all,
but I don't know. All that stuff aside, I still feel like there is a genuine lack of, is interest too strong here?
Buzz seems to fit. I wanted to know if you agree with me. AD, do you agree that there's a surprising lack of buzz for this game tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, people really aren't talking about it much. The NFL bigfooted it completely. It just feels like now we're on this path towards the championship games and the Super Bowl. College football should have been over weeks ago.
Is it Ohio
Yeah.
State? The expectation, I think, with 75% of the people is that Ohio State is going to win this and maybe win comfortably, but we've seen strong favorites in the championship game
Yeah.
before. Monday certainly has something to do with it. Is a part of this, with apologies to Ohio State and Notre Dame fans, is a part of this that these are usually two big brands that people root against?
I mean, I don't think so. I mean,
No.
typically that means there's more attention on a game when you have. I mean, you could argue that these are the two biggest college football programs in America. You could make that argument.
You could.
They need no description. Everybody knows where they stand with them. They have huge fan bases. They've had plenty of drama. Everything is on the table for this game. I mean, it is. It's the first year of this expanded college football playoff. I mean, there isn't anything else that you could add to this, really, even if you really wanted to. But it's weird. There are no Southern teams alive in college football or in pro football right now.
Wild.
There aren't any. Kansas City is the close, and that is not a Southern city. I mean, that's the closest thing. Nothing in Texas, nothing in Florida, nothing in Georgia, nothing. Nothing in California either.
College champions coming from the Midwest for the second straight year.
Yeah, there's a very large, heavily populated swath of the country that's kind of cut out of all this. I don't know if that has anything to do with, just tonight's game specifically, but it is unique.
Quickie poll is from WCI Pools and Spas in Ames and Urbandale.
Who do you want to win the college football playoff national championship game tonight? Notre Dame or Ohio State?
Oh, man. Yeah.
I want Notre Dame to win. I hope Notre Dame wins. You, AD?
I want Ohio State to win just because it's better for the Big Ten. It's better optics and more money for Iowa. That's the only reason I care.
I expect Ohio State to win by a couple touchdowns. That would be back-to-back Big Ten championships, Big Ten national championships. Andy, who do you want to win?
I don't know. I'm straight down the middle on this. I before this season, I think I'd have picked Ohio State just because of the Big Ten connection, but I was really turned off this year by Ohio State and Ryan Day and that shit after the Michigan game. So there's a part of me that wants to see Notre Dame win this. I think maybe I'll root for Notre Dame because I'd like to see something a little bit different. Not that Notre Dame doing well in football is anybody's definition of different, but Ohio State is more of a constant than they are.
There's a part of me that's like Ohio State's already annoying, and Notre Dame will become more annoying if they win. So let's just stick.
It's
with
almost
the
like who do we
annoying
want to lose more, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
a few
saw
people in the comments saying meteor.
Yeah, I saw somebody in the comments also pointed out that ESECPN is not promoting this because the SEC is not in it, but it's on ESPN, so they are promoting it. They are trying to get the buzz going. It's just I think it's hard to break through. Additional hot topics: West Virginia returns the Cyclones to earth. We should have seen this coming off a 17-point home win against Kansas, and then Iowa State goes to West Virginia. Tough place to play, electric atmosphere, all geeked up for playing the number 2 team in the country. Well coached by Darren DeVries, no surprise there. And the Milan Momcilovic bill came in. You knew this wasn't going to be nothing. This guy can shoot the 3, and he helps space things out. He's 6'8", and they did miss him Saturday.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe he'd have missed all his shots too. I mean, it's just this court is the Bermuda Triangle for Iowa State basketball, men's and women's, turns out, but definitely men's. I mean, we've seen so many really good Cyclone teams go into that gym. It's it feels tight. it has that kind of low mezzanine with that kind of that facing that goes around, almost like an old hockey arena. It feels really foreign. I think it does, and it's it used to be it was like that crazy pressing defense that the Bob Huggins teams would play there. That would throw Cyclone teams off, but it was also just the building and the fans, and you do watch those games and just think, all right, who's on meth? I mean, you're looking at the fans in the face, right? Aren't you? I mean, you're looking at that mountaineer who's wearing that brown gimp outfit with the fringe on it.
Does he still carry a shotgun to the game?
It's a big muzzle loader. Yeah, he's got that. It's a big muzzle loader. He's got that thing in his coonskin cap, and he looks a little too happy to wear that whole thing. It just doesn't look like it could possibly be comfortable. Like the whole thing, you're like, I mean, West Virginia is kind of a second world country. Doesn't it seem like that? It's like, it's not third world, but it's not America.
It certainly is.
Well, I don't know. Just, I mean, like, there he is. There's our man right there. I mean,
He's got a gun.
What's the first state that people point out when they're trying to make some kind of joke? I mean, it's West Virginia, but
his cap and his beard are one. It's like the hat just grew into a beard.
The gun is the best because he's probably the only one who can carry a gun into that arena.
I don't know. It's West Virginia.
I'm not sure of that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The raccoon is probably wearing that guy's beard on his head. But it's just an odd. I'm kidding, of course, but I mean, it's an odd spot. It's always been a difficult place for Iowa State. So I think we all expected this to be a difficult game. But man, watching this thing was like the peak of aggravation.
Oh,
like
1 for 17 from 3.
The rim looked like it reminded me, definitely in the second half, it reminded me of like one of the rims at a carnival that you're trying to shoot hoops into. And it's
just
like
a little bigger than the basketball.
Barely bigger than the ball, but they're missing layups, putbacks, little bunnies bouncing around the rim. You're like, oh my God, that didn't go in. But it was actually kind of true on both sides of the court. The game was just really low scoring, and every point meant so much.
Mountaineers fans stormed the court, which of course is a sign of respect to have the number 2 team in the nation there. And you brought the number 2 team down. Iowa State now ranked number 3. So the Cyclones is another sign this is not a bad loss, of course, is the Cyclones fall 1 in the new top 25 poll, now behind Auburn and Duke. So the Cyclones do lose and that 12-game winning streak, but it's not viewed as a bad loss because it's not a bad loss. Here's TJ Otzelberger and Darren DeVries after the game.
It's really hard to win on the road. It doesn't matter night in and night out. Everybody's good. Everybody's well coached. Everybody has great atmospheres and environments, and this is a really good West Virginia team in a really challenging environment to play in. You have to be at your absolute best when you go on the road in the Big 12. We know that. And we weren't fortunate enough to be able to do that tonight. So, again, all the credit goes to them. They did a great job.
We're going to come. We're going to compete. These are the things we feel like we need to be good at to win, and let's go try and do that. And I've never been a guy that's like, hey, we need to win this many games to be successful. It's more about, how can we maximize this group, and then if you can do that, then your goal is that those wins follow.
Man, he's a good coach. I don't hear a West Virginia accent yet, but good coach, good guy.
Come on,
Iowa
home,
State
coach.
Oh yeah, Iowa State versus UCF Tuesday night. The ISU women also got thumped at West Virginia. It is time to get off the country roads of West Virginia.
Denver's full of shit, man.
Oh, let's hear it one more time.
That John Denver's full of shit, man.
Aren't they in Nebraska at the time?
Yeah.
Looking
totally
for the
flat.
Thought the Rocky Mountains would be a little rockier than this.
Yeah. They're looking
Kansas
for the Rocky
or Nebraska,
Mountains.
something like that. Yeah.
Different John Denver song, but we get the point. UCLA, speaking of, did I just hear you say, come on home, Darren DeVries?
Yep, sure did.
All right, that's a That's something to hear AD saying that. But UCLA hangs 57 on Iowa in the first half.
Jeez.
Oh, Bruins shot 66% from the field. Jenny and I were at Christopher's watching this with Kate. It just seemed like they couldn't miss. And when they did miss, they got their rebound and put it back in. That was one of the worst defensive first halves. Might be it's the worst I can recall right now. It was just awful.
This is the difference between this team at home and on the road.
Wow.
I don't know. I'm not sure it's ever been more pronounced than it's been this year. And that was a tough road trip out west.
Ooh.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
Not since, the Oregon Trail, I think, that have we seen road trips that ended quite that badly.
That's a little bit of an exaggeration, isn't it?
I think the Hawkeyes did catch dysentery.
Yeah, dysentery and smallpox, right? Yeah. I mean,
no one had smallpox. 94-70 the final, but it was not competitive from the jump. One of our commenters just said, was it 28-9?
Yeah.
28-9. Yeah. Herky the Cat said 28-9, and he checked out. Jeez,
and
rough
you
look for Iowa.
You hate to call into question effort. But I mean, there were times where it just looked like the team, like if you're trying at all on defense or rebounding, it feels like it has to be better than what they put forth in much of that USC game and then all night against UCLA. It's really hard to watch when you're, again, I don't want to call out their effort. I know these guys are trying hard, but with your eyes, it doesn't look like they're doing much.
With the offensive rebounding, too. It's like that rebounding is effort. Defense is effort. It's tough, and Iowa will turn around and play some great game at home in the next week, and will likely feel differently about this. But, man, it was bad. A reporter, and I'm not sure which one, asked UCLA coach Mick Cronin if he thought Iowa's travel to the West Coast hurt the Hawkeyes.
Have you seen anything from the teams that have to come out here and stay out here? Is there any kind of balance with that in terms of the wear and tear and just what you've seen on the court?
Wear and tear on them?
Yeah.
Is that a joke? Please tell me that's a joke.
Is it even comparable, is essentially what I'm trying to say.
Have you ever looked at the NBA stats and what the gamblers and all those people do on West versus East? Talk to Eric Musselman, ask him that question, who coached in the NBA. Good luck, West going East. Okay, and ask me UCLA's record east of the Mississippi in the last 20 years. Because when I got the job, I looked it up for scheduling purposes. It's under 500, okay? We have to go back 4 times. Oh, the Big Ten teams get to come to Los Angeles where it's 70 degrees 1 time a year. They don't even have to switch hotels. We're 12 miles apart. Are you kidding me? Please tell me you're kidding me. Is this a plan? Is this a planted question? I mean, you cannot be serious with that. And meanwhile, we've seen the Eiffel Tower, or we've seen the Statue of Liberty twice in the last 3 weeks while we were landing. We also saw downtown. We also saw the Capitol building. I mean, are you kidding me? I mean, you can't possibly. And we still got to go back, and then we got to go back for the Big Ten tournament. You can't possibly be serious.
Well, that's the thing. You have 4 more trips of those to make.
Yeah.
So
they do it 1 time. You can't possibly stop. I'm going to eat, man. You can't. I mean, he's asked me to feel sorry because Iowa had to come to L.A. for a few days.
Well, so I guess your answer is no, then, Coach.
Is Cronin like on some kind of quest to get to the top of the dick chart?
Yeah. What?
Jeez.
I'm gonna put you down for a no, then, Coach. You could save your breath.
Last week, he talked about he's the only one who tries, only one who cares, doesn't even need to be here because he's got 500 wins. Team sucks. Assistant coaches suck. Only one who cares is him. That was him last week. Now, and did you catch? He's talking about Big Ten teams like UCLA isn't a Big Ten team. Yeah. Newsflash, Coach, you're in the Big Ten now, and you're taking all that money. Suck it up and shut up. What is wrong with him?
Right. I mean, they're not coming out and going to the beach. They're coming out and they're getting ready for basketball. They're playing basketball.
They're coming out and dodging wildfires.
But the question is the travel rough? It's not like, is the stay there? Is the hotel rough? Is the travel in between UCLA and USC rough? The question is the travel rough? Right. I mean, you're going 2 time zones away. Is do you think that that's having an effect on those teams? All he needed to be say, like, I don't know, maybe we know what it's like. We have to go that way. And sometimes we go, 4 time zones that way, and we go, jump way ahead on the clock.
They were just coming off a 4-game losing streak, and they got just what they needed, Iowa's defense. So just enjoy that, Coach. Get out of the bubble. This guy must be surrounded by bootlickers, ass kissers. I don't know any other way you could act like this in 2 separate press conferences. Get out of the bubble. Go touch some grass.
The name Dick Cronin is trending right now.
Jeez. Iowa women lose a 5th straight game. Hannah Stuelke out with a concussion. And Iowa led Oregon 10-0. But ends up losing by 1. Here's Jan Jensen on the Hawks.
This is often the case when you're going through adversity. You could just kind of feel as that lead chipped away. I just we couldn't keep that confidence.
Yeah, she's tried a little bit of everything, and it's not working. They're losing leads late. Yeah. There is a confidence problem, and there is an adjustment to not having a bailout in Caitlin Clark. I think they'll be okay, but we talked about this the other day. They got to stop the bleeding.
Yeah, and I mean, there's only so many times you can offer up a lot of excuses for her, and we've done that. We like Jan Jensen. I want this to work out.
Yeah, me too.
But I mean, she needs to win. I mean, this team, she does need to get this thing turned around, or it does start to fall on her, because we've seen Iowa play a lot better basketball than this season. I mean, they lost so much. Everybody knows that. But I don't think they fell this far, talent-wise. They still have a lot there on that team. Too much to lose 5 in a row.
Lucy Olson started the season so well. She's missing shots now that she normally makes. She averaged like 25 points a game last year. She missed a bunch of free throws in the loss to Nebraska. There is a confidence problem, and I'm sure they're working to get it back. Let's go to the NFL, because what a weekend this was. We'll start with Ravens-Bills. 27-25, Bills win it. Lamar Jackson against Josh Allen was kind of the headline of this. The guys who finished 1-2 for the MVP, one way or the other. And this was an entertaining game. Oh, yeah. Mark Andrews drops the 2-point conversion. See it. I'm not putting it. I know Lamar Jackson continues to struggle in the playoffs, but man, he made plays too. It doesn't always have to be somebody's fault.
Yeah, right. I mean, and this would have tied the game. It wouldn't have won the game for the Ravens.
Ravens had turnovers.
The play that Lamar Jackson made, that touchdown pass, I mean, he had, all day long to throw it, but there still was incredible throw, incredible play in bad conditions in Buffalo. Buffalo, really, really hard place to go and win in January, especially when a snowy night, which it absolutely was. Can I just say that I honestly, I hope we never have an NFL where we don't have the prospect of snowy games in the playoffs in cities like Buffalo and Philadelphia. I mean, that is football.
If football's meant to be played in the elements, how much more interesting would the Ohio State-Notre Dame game be tonight if it was played at Notre Dame or at the Horseshoe instead of Atlanta? Yeah, yes. Ohio State-Notre Dame in Atlanta indoors. I mean,
college football does get really sterilized in the postseason. It does, whether it's the warm weather bowl locations or this kind of situation. I mean, it really is missing out on that giant piece of character that the NFL has always maintained.
Let's stay with that to go to the other game that was played in a snow globe. Eagles 28, Rams 22. The difference in this game is the Giants' worst nightmare. Saquon Barkley just running wild, 205 yards, and really calling his shot before the big touchdown. Like what he says to Jalen Hurts, "Watch this," and he was gone.
It doesn't happen very often, but every now and then a running back changes teams well into his career. and finds another gear. And that is kind of fun. I mean, I have loved this from him because it's, just been a part of this whole resurgence of this position. And, it's the NFL that we grew up loving, is having a guy like this that would, carry this kind of load in the playoffs. We've all seen plenty of the Eagles in the postseason.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know that it's all that refreshing for a team, but to have it led by the star running back like that has been a lot of fun. I mean, the Rams played pretty well in this game. They really did, being way out of their element. I felt like this game was kind of anticlimactic after the Lions-Commanders game.
And a championship game in Philadelphia is more interesting than a championship game in LA SoFi Stadium.
Yes.
To the Lions game, the 1 seed goes down hard. Commanders 45, Lions 31. Oftentimes in the playoffs, you pick the team with a better quarterback, and it's kind of hard to say going into this game that Jaden Daniels is better than Jared Goff, but Daniels, wow. He's shaping up to be a steal as the number 2 pick, a Heisman Trophy winner out of LSU.
He was phenomenal. The Lions made some gigantic mistakes in this game. Jared Goff did not play well.
No.
It was very obvious that they had lost so many defensive players, and they lost another one during the game, of course. But I felt so bad for the Lions fans. Oh my God, I felt so bad for them watching this. I mean, and Dan Campbell is such an easy coach to like, and that fan base, they have been there since 1934. Same place. This team hasn't moved. Hasn't changed
Super
its
Bowls.
name.
Can't get to the Super Bowl.
Last championship game was 1957, which, if that's in baseball, there's some frame of reference. 1957 NFL champion. There's no AFL. It's, everybody's playing on a dirt field. They've got a single bar on their face. I mean, it just looks so different from today's football. That's so long ago. I mean, you would have to be 75 years old to have any memory of that championship. And these fans have just had to take it. So I really wanted the Lions to win this one. But I mean, Washington is a great fan base too. I'm sure they're over the moon about this. I think we all kind of feel like the Chiefs or maybe the Bills, the Super Bowl champion sure feels like it's going to come from the AFC.
Chiefs 23, Texans 14. By the way, one of the all-time bad beats. My wife Jenny had $5 of cold cash on the Chiefs minus 9.5. Should have gotten in earlier, Jenny, because I'm congratulating her. I'm like, they got it. They're up 10. They're up, or what was it, 11? I'm like, they got this. It's good. No problem. And then on 4th down, they run it out of the end zone for a safety, which was, I guess, the smart play. But anyway, to the non-gambling part of this, 7th straight AFC championship game for the Chiefs, just remarkable. Mm-hmm. And this caused kind of like a national meltdown on the refs being for the Chiefs and the conspiracy theories of the fix being in that the NFL has ordered that the Chiefs win their 3rd straight Super Bowl. I don't buy that at all.
I don't buy that at all. No.
I mean, the level of conspiracy, the level of buy-in it would take from officials and NFL executives and coaches and managers to make this happen and keep it quiet and risk your multi-billion-dollar entertainment industry to fall the way of the 1918 Chicago White Sox, Black Sox. No, the fix isn't in. Does Patrick Mahomes get a lot of calls? Yes, he does. Does he job the system that protects quarterbacks, if anything, too much? Yes, he does. He knows to slow down, and maybe he'll get hit. Then he puts a little extra stink on the flop sometimes. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to work it. But Andy, this is not new to sports. Michael Jordan got the calls. Tom Brady got the calls. Patrick Mahomes is the biggest star and the most important player in the NFL. He does get the calls. That's how it works. But the fix is not in.
I don't think the fix is in, but what is in though is the court of public opinion on the NFL protecting the quarterbacks. That judgment is in. The NFL
They've overcorrected.
They have
gone
too far.
It's too far
to do this. These guys are wearing pads.
Yeah,
okay?
They might as well put flags on them.
And Patrick Mahomes is very good at running around, messing with defenders, making them wonder when he is actually going to slide. And then, just as it seems like they have committed themselves toward trying to tackle him, he goes down, slides, and then whether he's faking getting hit in the head or it's just going to look like he gets hit in the head, he knows that's going on, and then those calls go in favor of the Chiefs.
Yep.
And those are, I mean, just think about it, like a roughing the passer call, an unnecessary roughness call, when it's against the quarterback, that is frequently at a really crucial point in the game. It's often on third down. When there are throwing downfield with extra time to try to complete a long pass in a tough first down or a tough situation, get a first down. It's the quarterback running, when it's third and long or something like that. It's just, it is often a play where that penalty not only gives a team an automatic first down, but then 15 yards on top of that. I mean, that's a huge penalty. It is so painful to the defense to take that penalty. So I think the NFL has got to have a come to Jesus conversation here at the end of this season and say, all right, this is we have overcorrected this, where we started with a point of needing to protect the quarterback, and we have now empowered the quarterback too much. We have enabled offenses and smart quarterbacks. And then when it's Patrick Mahomes, you just have, if you're a referee, I just think it's human nature. You just have a natural tendency to want to protect him more. If it's a no-name quarterback, I don't think that the referees are always thinking the same way.
And the single biggest factor in this Chiefs fatigue is that the Chiefs keep winning. That's the single biggest factor.
Good. Right.
They're so dang good. 7 straight AFC championships. We had a poll on Soundof last night. What is the most hated? Which team do you hate the most in the NFL? The Chiefs or one of the other 31 teams?
Yeah.
And the final vote was 50-50. 50% Chiefs, and 50% for the 31 other combined teams. But it's mostly about winning. You hear anybody bitching about the Patriots anymore?
Yeah,
No.
right. I mean, we all remember a time where you couldn't imagine it ever being anybody but the Patriots.
Yeah.
And we're old enough to remember where
now.
you could never imagine it being anybody but the Dallas Cowboys. But sure enough, the Kansas City Chiefs, which were just like one of the under the radar organizations in the NFL outside of Kansas City, people rarely thought of them. But yep, you win enough, you'll be in that position.
Yeah, and Texans fans, you scored 1 touchdown. Your quarterback was sacked 8 or 9 times. You had 3 missed kicks, and you gave up a long touchdown or long kickoff return at the beginning of the game. I mean, look elsewhere. And now here's Hall of Famer Greg Maddux recalling the time Hall of Famer John Smoltz farted during Arnold Palmer's backswing.
Anyway, Arnie hasn't missed a shot all day, and Arnie gets right back here, and Smoltz kind of farts in his backswing. Okay, so kind of. Steve chunks it, he hits it fat, okay? And Smoltz goes, "You think he heard that?" I'm like, "Yeah, he heard it. Like, he hasn't hit a shot fat, probably 50 years."
Confluence is the official beer of Murph and Andy. Confluence. Where good things come together. Reminder, some people are off today. If you are, you have a Confluence nearby, pop one open. Right now, let's get some more.
But wait, there's more. From Either Or Eatery and Patio.
All right, find Either Or at 6222 Grand Avenue on the edge of Des Moines and West Des Moines. A lot of things going on in that part of town right now. Today is MLK Day. So his actual birthday was last Wednesday on the 15th. He was actually born Michael King Jr., January 15th, 1929. It was in 1934 that his father, a pastor at Atlanta's Ebenezer Baptist Church, traveled to Germany and became inspired by the Protestant Reformation leader Martin Luther. Oh. As a result, King Sr. changed his own name as well as that of his 5-year-old son.
Somehow, I never had heard that.
MLK Jr. entered college at the age of 15. Sharp cookie. Such a gifted student that he skipped grades 9 and 12. Jeez. He enrolled at Morehouse College. My dad skipped a grade. He was always kind of sore about that. There were a couple of guys that I grew up with who skipped grades. That always seemed kind of rough on them. They couldn't drive when everybody else could drive. They looked a lot younger.
And you get to be an adult,
seemed like
too, and you're
socially.
Like, what was the hurry? I would like to repeat grades, not skip one.
Yeah, it's
push me out of college too early.
You're Doogie Howser, and you're going to be an MD at the age of 14. But yeah, for everybody else, just take your time, enjoy high school.
Yeah, enjoy.
Yeah, exactly. Today's also Blue Monday. Third Monday in January, and the day that's supposedly the most depressing day of the year.
Oh, boy.
A pseudoscientific theory was invented by a British psychologist in 2005 to promote bookings with a travel firm. The day is said to be that one day when the weight of returning to our post-New Year's routine hits hardest. The joy of the holidays is over. Bills are due, and for many, it's getting tough to keep those resolutions. And, of course, also you have the weather that figures in. For example, here in West Des Moines, it's 7 degrees right now. So that doesn't help you feel any better. It does feel like Blue Monday. The lineup for the Fire Aid benefit concert supporting Los Angeles wildfire relief has been revealed, and it is packed with star power. They may have even added some names since I put this down. So Billie Eilish and Phineas, Dave Matthews and John Mayer, Earth, Wind & Fire, Gracie Abrams, Green Day, Gwen Stefani, Jelly Roll, Joni Mitchell, Katy Perry, Lady Gaga, Lil Baby, Pink, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Rod Stewart, who's still alive, Stephen Stills, also still alive, Stevie Nicks, Sting, and Tate McRae. And more expected to jump on the bandwagon.
I knew most of those.
Yeah, that is quite a concert. There is, Murph, you were asking about this the other day. There is indeed a new women's world record for crushing watermelons between your thighs.
Good. I was wondering.
Gadzi Dogan is from Turkey. Has now finally had her world record certified for crushing watermelons between her thighs. Thanks to Guinness. She smashed 5 watermelons in 60 seconds.
Husband is now deceased.
That's just like a really strong scissor hold, right? And you smash the watermelon. Because those are pretty small melons, too. I would think those would be harder than the big melons. It's also quite a waste of watermelons. You don't eat a watermelon once a woman like that has smashed it between her thighs. You let it go.
This is why it pays to watch if you can on YouTube. By the way, please like and subscribe if you would. We'd appreciate it. But that, like, just seeing this woman and the look on her face, and is this the beginning or is she finishing here?
Well, I don't see any watermelon residue. I believe this is the beginning.
Oh, man.
But they had a lot. I mean, she only got 5 of them in 60 seconds. That must be pretty stinking hard to smash. 5 in 60 seconds?
AD, will you do this tonight and let us know what it's like?
Nope.
All right. Thank you.
Watermelon now is like $10. The most common work-related dreams. Okay, we have nightmares about work. I always have a nightmare where I'm going on the newscast and I don't know. I have no idea what's in the show. I was supposed to edit a bunch of video and didn't. Right?
I've had that same dream.
I think we've all had that dream in television news. But for everybody else, here are the most common work-related dreams. Being late for work, okay?
Sure.
Getting fired or losing your job. Landing a new job, yeah. Having a romantic dream about a coworker. Guess that's not a bad dream. It's probably a good one.
Depends on the coworker.
Yeah. What if it's the lady with the watermelons? Seeing an old boss. Yeah, like somebody that you told off and it turns out you get a new job and they're the boss there. Quitting your job, getting a promotion. That's a dream. Well, that's a good dream there. Showing up to work naked.
It's the Nuke LaLoosh dream. Up there pitching in your jockstrap.
Yeah. Show up and you just like, oh, I forgot my clothes today.
I just have my shoes.
And then a tie between seeing someone you work with and getting in trouble, and then not wearing pants to work. Yeah, you show up to work and you just got boxer shorts on. Finally, from the files of Some Headlines Don't Need Stories, we bring you this. Ex-doctor jailed over illegal mobile circumcision service. A former doctor in Birmingham, England, picked up a side hustle that wound up putting him in jail for 5 years and 7 months. So while practicing medicine at the University Hospital Southampton, Mohammed Siddiqui started visiting homes and carrying out circumcisions for money. He was suspended from his job but continued the back alley circumcisions. Jeez. And the General Medical Council says he ignored basic hygiene rules. So I looked this up. In the UK, for a kid to be circumcised, you have to have the consent of both parents.
Oh.
So I'm thinking maybe this is where that problem is, where you want to get your kid circumcised, but your spouse isn't on board, or maybe you don't know the mother or father is.
This seems like a really good side hustle, though, Andy. This guy made a fortune in tips.
All these years you've been waiting to use that line. I finally gave you the opportunity. We got to stop there. That's your more, everybody.
January 25th, that's Friday. The Iowa Wild and Texas Stars will play at 6 p.m. It is country night, featuring a post-game concert by Dylan Scott, his beard and magnificent jawline. They'll all be there, and his voice and band. Purchase of a ticket gets you the hockey game and the concert. Lower level tickets, super limited, so get those seats today. VIP packs are still available, allow you to watch the concert from on the ice. And 2 for 1 from the official beer of Murph and Andy, Confluence. That is all coming up Friday night. Are we giving away some sweet tickets to this AD? What's
exactly.
Going on with that?
So we've got a contest up on our Twitter page, so you can find it there, and you can also go to iowaeverywhere.com and enter to win tickets there as well.
All right, time for Throwdowns.
Throwdowns. It's Throwdowns, backed by Heartland Tire and Auto.
Heartland Tire and Auto, treating you like family in Ankeny, Waukee, Knoxville, Boone, and Creston. Murph, Soundoff's knockout question last night was a tough one for me to answer, so I'm going to put it to you. Of the 4 remaining NFL teams, which are you most sure won't win the Super Bowl?
Tough for me too. I'm Commanders or Eagles. I'm not completely sure of any. I'm not surprised the Commanders won this vote. But I would rather have Jaden Daniels than Jalen Hurts right now, and this is all important, the quarterback. I don't think the Commanders are going to win the Super Bowl, but I think there's a chance. I think their chance is as good as the Eagles. I think I might knock out the Eagles. I do not see the Eagles winning this all.
Well, if you believe in jinxes, this is an easy pick of Buffalo here.
I'm happy for those fans. I hope they finally can have some happiness.
I do too, but we could feel terrible for these fans if they lose again in Kansas City, which is a very strong possibility.
Andy, we're down to 3 NFL games remaining to this Sunday and then the Super Bowl. Which weekend of the NFL playoffs is your favorite?
Well, typically it is championship weekend, the one that's coming up. I don't know that I care enough about these teams to agree this year. I feel like the NFC is a real dud this year with these teams. Just not teams I'm interested in. So I think I will go with the divisional round this year. Typically it's championship round, but I think I'll go with divisional round this year.
That first week, the wild card round, it feels like too much.
Too far out.
Yeah, and I think for me it would maybe be the divisional round, except Jenny said at some point this weekend, and it's not unreasonable, there's another game. Because it does just start to be one after another for 2 straight days. So overall, it's a championship weekend. But gosh, this weekend was fantastic.
It really was. All right, Murph, TikTok died in America for about 12 hours over the weekend. It's back now. I'm a daily user of the app. How often do you use TikTok?
Not at all. The only time I see a TikTok video is when somebody like you or my son Cade or Ed Wilson sends me a TikTok video and says, you have to watch this.
I'm the same way. And I don't want to get into TikTok for the same reason I don't want to get into cocaine.
Yeah.
I know I'd like it. Or afraid I'd like it. I don't need one more thing like that. But yeah, you or Hassel or somebody passes me something from TikTok and I'll watch it. And I've had the app on my phone and I probably still have it. I've got a million apps and I'll look through it. And yeah, it's really addictive. There's no doubt. I just don't need one more thing like that.
Yeah, stay away if you can.
I think I stayed away. I think the clincher for me was Ed Wilson. Our friend Ed said to me, yeah, the other night I was thinking it was like 1 a.m. I'd been on TikTok and I looked up and it was 5:30 in the morning.
It is funny to listen to all the politicians flip-flop on TikTok, isn't it? Like the moment they realize how popular it is.
Yeah.
I mean, Trump wanted to ban TikTok in his last term, wanted to ban it, was convinced it was an arm of the Chinese Communist Party. It was getting into Americans. It was a security threat, getting into their personal information. Politicians on both sides of the aisle were all about this. And then all of a sudden we get right up to the precipice point and you realize that all of these people that are on it are using it. Oh, okay. Well, maybe I'll make all those voters happy and reverse my position.
It was a rough 12 hours.
So many people. Yeah. Rough 12 hours.
That's
Welcome back. Grimaldi's fan photos. Send your fan photos to Murph_Andy at IowaEverywhere.com. It's presented by Grimaldi's Cold Brick Oven Pizzeria in West Des Moines and District at Prairie Trail, Ankeny. $50 gift card to the winning family, which we pick on Fridays. What do we have here, AD?
This is our buddy Griffin Capriva. He made a little sign, everybody at Hilton getting lipsy, based on the popular song.
He met, I like that. He's a big Cyclone fan and a Taman Lipsy fan, Taman being a local guy. He got to meet Taman Lipsy at the RVTV event in Perry. And you have never seen a kid's heart swell.
I love that.
Like Griffin's did that day when he got to take that picture. I was standing over there watching that happen. Got to take that picture with Taman Lipsy in Perry. It just rocked his world.
And I love the athletes, and it's most of them that realize how a little interaction can mean so much to a kid, and in many cases an adult too. So good on the folks who get that. All right, time for the Andrew Downs audio drop of the day. We call it the AD squared.
Powered by Game Day Men's Health. I go to the one in Ankeny. You can go to West Des Moines, North Liberty on the eastern side of the state. New year, new you. Go get a consultation. They can help you achieve your goals in 2025. Not a lot of buzz. Haven't seen a lot about tonight's national championship game, but did see our buddy Brian Cooney sent me an ad from Shane Gillis, who's going to be at the Iowa Event Center in May. Apparently he's a Notre Dame fan, and this was a fun commercial they put out this weekend.
Hey, God. It's me, Shane. I haven't been here in a while, but I have a pretty big prayer for you. Notre Dame's in the national championship on Monday. I know you know, because you've been with us the whole time. A couple weeks ago, that field goal, I know you had a lot going on, so that was pretty chill you took time to help us with that. I should also say I have not bet on any of these games. All right, I half bet. But going forward, if Notre Dame wins, thou will not bet on games for a month, a couple weeks. We'll probably bet on Sunday. Come on, God, I know you can help us. Trucking dude, pick sixes everywhere, and a couple fumblerooskies. Just please let Notre Dame win a national championship.
Hey, what are you praying for?
Praying for Notre Dame. What are you praying for?
Say Notre Dame.
All right, cool.
Shh. What? Did you go to Notre Dame?
Yeah, I went to Notre Dame.
Oh.
I'm sorry, that was a lie, God. No, I didn't go to Notre Dame. Did you?
No, my uncle did.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, shh. Go Irish.
Go Irish.
That's a good ad.
Yeah.
And Shane Gillis is in every other. He's going after the Mannings and Kelseys at this point. He's in a lot of ads. Mahomes. Quickie poll results presented by WCI Pools and Spas.
Who do you want to win the CFP National Championship? Notre Dame or Ohio State? Ohio State, man, geez, even a Big Ten country, they're having a hard time with this. 64% going with the Fighting Irish.
That game is tonight. We remind you that game is tonight. Thank you for being part of Murph and Andy. Sorry I was late, delayed the start of the show.
Do you know what went wrong?
I do not, but big props to Aiden, who said the old engineering trick. Hey, why don't you just try a reboot? Rebooted, back up. But
Turn
do
it
we know
off,
what
turn
went
it back
wrong?
on. Yeah.
Nope. Turn it off. Turn it on. We did that. Thanks for supporting local media here on Iowa Everywhere. We appreciate it if you'd like and subscribe. Helps us all out. We're back Wednesday. I'll be back Wednesday from Tempe. And we hope you're back Wednesday too.